Good day, everyone. I'm Angelo Pamintuan from BS Criminology 30C. Today, I will the first reporter of Doc 11, which is the Section 1 title. This decree and the rules and regulations for its implementation shall be known as the Fire Code of the Philippines, or also known as the Fire Code of 2008 or the RA number 9514. Uh, RA 954 and shall hereinafter be referred to as the Fire Code. Section 2, Declaration of Policies. The following are declared policies of the state. A. The government, with the cooperation of the private sector, shall develop and promulgate sets of standards and regulations, taking into consideration the latest development in fire technology suitable to Philippine condition. So ibig sabihin nito, kailangan ng mga fireman na makipag-cooperate sa private sector para sa bagong standards niya yun. Kunyari sa new generations, for example, sa isang school, meron ng yung kapag may yung nalalagay sa taas na parang shower na kapag nakakapag-detect siya ng tubig na kapag-detect siya ng init, nagkakaroon na bumubuhos siya ng ulan, parang shower. For example nito is ang evasion. Ang evasion is ang pag-upgrade ng mga technology. So B, fire prevention and fire safety shall be given equal, if not greater, emphasis as the suppressions of extinguishment of fires. Fire prevention education shall be undertaken continuously involving all sectors of the community. So ibig sabihin nito, kailangan ng fire na magkaroon ng sapat na education for each sa mga community. Kunyari magkakaroon yung sa March, mayroong Fire Prevention Month, which is the March. Pumupunta yung mga fireman sa mga school para itackle kung ano ang kahalagan ng first aid, kung ano bang gagawin kapag mayroong sunog, ganon. Sa C naman is the fire service of the Integrated National Police shall endeavor to respond to all fires before they reach critical and conflagration stages. Towards this end, the organization, administration, and operation of the fire service shall be improved and develop its personnel and equipment, augmented and effective fire alarm system setup. Kailangan daw sa lahat ng bawat, kunyari sa school, lahat ng uh, mga school or hotel, kahit ano dyan, kapag meron na daw nagkaroon ng fire alarm, kailangan daw active yung mga fireman na responde sa kung saan ang may sunog para din na magkaroon ng critical na sitwasyon. Next is the fire service shall be professionalized. For this purpose, educational institutions shall endeavor to include in their curricula courses on fire technology and fire protection engineering. Sinasabi dito na kailangan daw natin yung the fire service shall be professional. For this purpose, educational institutions shall endeavor to include in their curricula courses on the fire technology and fire protection engineering. So, ibig sabihin nito ay lahat daw dapat ng fire services shall be professional. Professional daw dapat sila na kung saan ang kanilang purpose for educational institution shall endeavor to include in their curricula. Or kailangan daw sila dapat ay professional, kailangan daw nila maging professional. So kailangan nila ng fire protection engineering and courses on fire technology. So kapag kailangan naman na naging fire ka tapos wala ka naman din wala ka din kalam-alam sa kung ano ang fire. That's all. Thank you.
This is my report. 1. Corrosive liquid. Any liquid which causes fire when in contact with organic matter or with certain chemicals. The corrosive liquid substance is one that will damage or destroy other substance with it comes into contact by means of a chemical reaction. 2. Curtain board A. Vertical panel of non-combustible or fire resistive materials attached to an extending below the bottom chord of the roof into separate compartments so that heat and smoke will be directed upwards to a roof vent. The curtain board A is a non-combustible material partition that fits tightly against a ceiling and is intended to prevent or slow the spread of fire and heat. 3. Cryogenic. Descriptive of any material which, by its nature or as a result of its reaction with other elements, produce a rapid drop in temperature of an immediate surrounding. The cryogenic is a production of and behavior of materials a very low temperature. Ultra cold temperature change the chemical properties. 4. Damper A. Normally open device installed inside an air duct system which automatically does to restrict the passage of smoke or fire. The damper is a small sheet of metal in a fire boiler or furnace that can be moved to increase or reduce the amount of air that enters. 5. Distillation. The process of first rising the temperature and separate the more volatile from the less volatile parts and then cooling and condensing the resulting vapor so as to produce a nearly purified substance. The distillation is a process that involves converting a liquid into vapor, which is then condensed back into liquid form. 6. Duct System A. Continuous passageway from the transmission of air. The duct system is designed to supply rooms with air that is conditioned, that is heated or cooled by the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. 7. Dust A. Finally, powdered substance which, when mixed with air in the proper proportion and ignited with cause an explosion. The dust consists of small particles of dry, solid matter. It begins as airborne particles but eventually lands on horizontal surface. 8. Electrical arc. An extremely hot, luminous bridge formed by passage of an electric current across a space between two conductors or conducting vapor. The electrical arc is when electrically jumps from one connection to another. That's all.
Ember, a hot piece or lump that remains after a material has partially burned and it is still oxidizing without the manifestation of flames. Itong ember, ito yung baga na natitira kapag yung isang bagay ay unti-unti nang nasusunog. Finishes, materials used as final coating of a surface or ornamental or protective purposes. Itong finishes naman, ito yung mga materials na ginagamit or nilalagay sa surface para for protective purposes or para hindi madaling matablan ng apoy. Fire, the active principle of burning characterized by the heat and light of combustion. So, fire, alam naman nating lahat kung ano ito. Fire means apoy, and in able to make fire, there are four needed elements: the oxygen, heat, fuel, and chemical reaction, or in other hand, it called fire tetrahedron. Next is fire trap. a building unsafe in case of fire because it will burn easily or because it lacks adequate exits or fire escapes. Dito sa fire trap, it refers to a building in which it has no proper provision in case of fire. Ito yung building na kung saan walang nakatalagang fire exit at yung building na ito ay madaling matupok ng apoy dahil ang mga materials na ginamit ay marurupok. Next is the fire alarm. Any visual or audible signals produced by a device or systems to warn the occupants of the building or firefighting elements of the presence of danger of fire and enable them to undertake immediate action to save lives and property and to suppress the fire. So dito sa fire alarm, it is a device making a loud noise that gives warning to a fire. For example is the fire buzzer, which is commonly gina-install ito sa mga large establishment or buildings like condominiums, malls, and schools na kung saan pinipindot ito kapag may emergency, especially na kapag may sunog, to alarm those individuals na nasa loob ng building na iyon na dapat nang lumabas dahil delikado na. Next is the fire door. A fire-resistive door prescribed for opening in fire separations, walls, or partitions. Itong fire door, commonly as fire exit or emergency exit. Ito yung mga pintuan na kung saan kadalasang ginagamit o dinadaanan upang makalabas sa nasusunog na gusali. Itong pintuan na ito ay fireproof. Kumbaga, yung mga materials na ginamit sa pintuang ito ay hindi basta-basta nasusunog. Next is the fire hazard. Any conditions or act which increases or may cause an increase in the probability of the occurrence of fire or which may obstruct, delay, hinder, or interfere fire fighting operations and safeguarding of lives and property. So, dito sa fire hazard, ito yung mga bagay-bagay na nagiging rason kung bakit mas nag-i-increase yung cost ng sunog. Next is the fire lane. The portion of a roadway or public way that should be kept open and obstruct at all times for the expedient operation of firefighting units. So, dito sa fire lane, this is a lane intended and reserved for fire and rescue team, such as fire trucks na kung saan ginagamit ito upang mas mapadali silang makapunta sa kanilang pupuntahan na may sunog ng walang nagde-delay na traffic, ganon. Next is the fire protective and fire safety device. Any device intended for the protection of buildings or person to include but not limited to built-in protection systems such as sprinkles and other automatic extinguishing system, detectors for heat, smoke, and combustion products and other warning system components, personal protective equipment such as fire blankets, helmets, fire suits, gloves, and other garments that may be put or worn by person to protect themselves during fire. So, dito sa fire protective and fire safety devices, ito yung mga bagay-bagay na ginagamit upang mas maprotektahan mo yung sarili mo kapag may nagaganap na sunog.
Fire safety construction refers to design and installation of walls, barriers, doors, windows, vent, means of egress, etc. integral to and incorporated into a building of structure and order of minimize danger to life from fire, smoke, fumes, and or panic before the building is evacuated. The features are also designed to achieve, among other, safe and rapid evacuation of people through means of egress from smoke or fire. The confinement of fire or smoke in the room of floor or origin and delay their spread to other parts of the building by means of smoke sealed and fire resistant door walls and floor. It shall also mean to include the treatment of the building component and contain the flame and retardant chemicals. For safety construction, this means that the material that used to construct a building or house is made up a passive fire protection system to minimize, prevent, or to fire, prevent the spreading of fire, and also the design of it must be integral, so and cooperative to easy evacuation of the people inside the premises. Flash point, the minimum temperature of which any materials gives off before insufficient concentration to form of a ignitable mixture of air. Flashpoint is this means that the surrounding is full of smoke used to flashpoint to expose the open flame. Forcing a process where a piece of metal is heated prior to change its shape or dimension. This refers to the process of creating smoke force. Let to show the dimension. Smoke force to show the dimension. And fulminate, a kind of stable explosive compound which explode by prosecution. And last, the fulminate. Ito ay isang uri ng pampasabog na kung saan konting saltik lamang nito ay sasabog na.
Good day everyone, I am Cesar Ayat Padrones, a student of BS Cream 32C, and I will be your reporter. Number 1. Hazardous operation process. Any act of manufacturing, fabrication, conversion, etc. that use or produce materials which is likely cause fire or explosion. Isa yung operation kung saan gumagawa sila ng kagamitan na maaring magdulot ng pagsabog o apoy. Number 2. Horizontal exit. Passageway from one building to another or through or around a wall in approximately the same floor level. Number 3. Hose box. A box or cabinet where fire hose, valves, and other equipment are stored and arranged for firefighting. Ang hose box ay kadalasan nakikita natin sa mga building. Halimbawa na lang sa paralan, ito ay importante kung sakaling magkaroon ng sunog. Number 4. Hose rail, a cylindrical device turning on around which a fire hose is wound and connected. This hose rail system is an immediate firefighting response equipment that can be easily be used by the public to contain the spread of the fire. Number 5. Hydraulic fuel, a rocket or a liquid propellant which consists of combination of fuels and oxygens which ignite spontaneously on contact with each other.
Uh, Good day, sir. This is my oral video presentation. Number one, organic peroxide. A strong organizing organic compound which releases oxygen readily. It causes fire when in contact with combustible materials, especially uh, under conditions of high temperature. While the main hazards are related to organic peroxides ay pagsunog at pagsabog, maaari rin silang nakakalason kapag ito ay ating aksidenteng nalunok or nalanghap, dumikit sa mata, at nakakapinsala din po ito ng ating mga balat at ang buong katawan kapag ah, nasobrahan na pagkalagay sa ating katawan. Number 2, overloading. The use of one or more electrical appliances or devices which draw or consume electrical current beyond capacity of the existing electrical system. Ang sobra daw po ng pagkarga at paggamit ng isa o higit pang mga electrical appliances or devices katulad po ng mga nasa pang-araw-araw nating ginagamit, cellphone or mga TV, radyo, basta kahit ano po, basta appliances po siya or devices na kumukuha o nakakalakas na konsumo ng electrical current natin, na ating kurente, lampas sa kapasidad ng kasalukuyang electrical system. Owner. Number 3 po. The person who holds the legal rights of possession or title to a building or real property. Ang taong nagmamay-ari daw po ng nagmamay-ari at humahawak ng legal na dokumento ay may karapatan po sa titulo sa isang gusali at property. Oxidizing material. A material that readily yields oxygen in quantities sufficient to stimulate or support combustion. Ang mga oxidizing materials daw ay ang mga chemical na madaling mabulok upang makagawa ng isang oxygen. Ngunit maaari nilang palakasin ang nasusunog na mga bagay. Pressured or forced draft burning equipment. Type or burner where the fuel is subjected to pressure prior to discharge into the combustion chamber and or which includes fans or other provisions for the introduction of air at above normal atmosphere pressure into the same combustion chamber. Combustion chamber, ito daw ay isang grupo ng mga mechanism na nagpapakain ng hangin sa combustion chamber ng isang boiler unit or furnace at nag-aalis ng mga flue gas mula sa chamber. At ang trabaho po ng forced draft burning equipment natin ay sumisipsip ng hangin at dumedirekta ito sa combustion chamber. Public way. Any street, alley, or other strip of land unobstructed from the ground to the sky, deeded, dedicated, or otherwise permanently appropriated for public use. Ang pampublikong daan, anumang kalye, eskinita, o iba pang guhit ng lupa na hindi nakaharang mula sa lupa hanggang sa taas, ito ay inilaan para sa permanenteng pampublikong paggamit at kahit sino ay pwedeng dumaan rito.
Pyrophoric, descriptive of any substance that ignites spontaneously when exposed to air. Dito sa pyrophoric, ito yung mga substances na madaling mag-alab, especially kapag na-expose siya sa hangin. Next is refining. Refining, a process where impurities or deleterious materials are removed from a mixture in order to produce a pure element of compound. It shall also refer to partial distillation and electrolysis. Dito sa refining, it refers to the process wherein tinatanggal yung mga marurumi or hindi kasaling elements para maging pure ang elements compound na magagawa. Next is self-closing door. Self-closing door, automatic closing doors that are designed to confine smoke and heat and delay the spread of fire. Ito yung mga pintuan na kapag binubuksan mo ay kusang nagsasara. Ang purpose nito ay hindi kaagaran makakalusot ang apoy sa kabilang bahagi ng pintuan. Smelting. Melting or fusing of metallic ores or compounds so as to separate impurities from pure metals. It refers sa pagtunaw ng mga metallic ores para ma-separate yung mga impurities or hindi ka nais-nais na metals sa pure metals. Next is the sprinkler system, an integrated network of hydraulically designed piping installed in a building structure or area with outlets arranged in a systematic pattern which automatically discharge water when active by heat or combustion products from a fire. Dito naman, It contains water supply system na kung saan pwede itong i-install sa mga buildings para if ever na magkaroon ng sunog, magagamit ito upang kagarang maapula ang sunog. Next is the standpipe system, a system of vertical pipes in a building to which fire hoses can be attached on each floor, including a system by which water is made available to the outlets as needed. So, dito sa standpipe system, ito yung mga pipes na mayroong tubig na nandoon na sa loob niya, tsaka pwedeng lagyan ng hose or kadalasang meron na talaga siyang hose na kinakabit siya sa each building ng floor. Kaya, at magagamit ito kapag sa floor na yon is may sunog. Next is the vestibule, a passage hall or antechamber between the outdoor doors and the interior parts of a house or building. Next is the vertical shaft, an enclosed vertical space of passage that extend from floor to floor as well as from the base to the top of the building.